Okay, I think we're there. Is the UK down? The UK is officially down. Our primary goal was to get as much score as possible, and 91% is not bad in World War II. Germany, did you do something? Come on, Germany, come on, do something. 91%, for which 25,144 is for sunk enemy ships. That's not just good, that's probably a bit overpowered. That's probably a bit too much, honestly, from only from sinking enemy ships. We completely destroyed the Royal Navy. And of course, what is left of the Royal Navy, we are going to take in just a couple of seconds. There we go. There we go. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. A few months ago, with Graveyard of Empires, I spent countless hours working on a guide for India, only to find it completely broken on release day, as most of the DLC actually. So this time I opted for a safer approach, reworking one of my favorite and most solid strategies, the Roman Empire path for Italy. This will also give me the opportunity to highlight all of the most important and biggest changes coming alongside the DLC, including coal, the navy rework, the new faction system, and especially the complete rework of all doctrines. If that sounds interesting, you're in the right place. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, but make sure to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. As always guys, if you enjoy the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and especially leaving a comment. That said, let's get started. As usual guys, all research and focus priorities are in the description of the video, so they will not be covered in the edited version, and the dedicated spreadsheet covering all steps in detail is available to Tier 2 members in our usual shared folder. In terms of buildings, we're going to build a land facility in Tuscany. One infrastructure in Campania and in Emilia-Romagna. And then full civilian factories in Toscana, Lazio and Campania. Here is our military production priority. And here is our naval production priority. So 1 to Conte di Cavour, 2 to the first Littorio, 1 to the second Littorio, then all Max. And later on we will add some light cruisers because in this run we're actually engaging and destroying the Royal Navy. We're going to fix trade, but we're going to ignore chromium. So only coal, one of the new very fun additions to the game, and a rubber. So you will see in this run the majority of the interaction with coal will be opening this tab and importing it. That's about it. Now we're going for the usual setup against Ethiopia, so we create 2 armies, north and south. We give them to Rodolfo Graziani, our best marshal. In the north we are going to use Vecchiarelli, who is going to be our main general for the rest of the run. In the south we are going to use my second favorite, which is Sebastiano Visconti Prasca. And we want them to be aggressively executing battle plans, highest motorization priority. Then you select all of the non-assigned divisions, you double click on Mountaineers, give them to the Northern Army. We also give them a couple more infantry battalions. And we just give everything else to Sebastiano Visconti Prasca. As for the offensive lines, we just go for something very basic, then we're going to micromanage them a little bit. This is not very difficult, so just a regular offensive line in the middle of Ethiopia, and that's it. And if you, watching the unedited version, are wondering what I'm doing now, I'm doing what I usually do at this point, which is renaming my army. But of course, I forgot to check the tier 3 members, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, there we go, there we go. Oh, we got a new one. Now let's give him something cool. Lucas, your name has too many A's, so I will shorten it to Lucas if you don't mind. Now I'm going to rename our divisions here, so it's a bit easier to follow the spreadsheet. And as usual, I will also rename them after oh my god, I cannot speak. As usual, I will also rename them after tier 3 members of the channel. Lucas, new addition to tier 3 members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You will get the best divisions in this run, our Alp T. They are not Alp T yet, but they will become soon. But they will eventually become so. The other most important template will go to our usual Dr. Hoops. You're gonna get some def, later on it will become inf. We are not going to use Divisione Celere, so we can decommission it. We are going to leave these ones as they are. Cavalry doesn't play a very important role in this run, but it will be our garrison. So Andrew, protect our ports. So Andrew, suppress the resistance, please. And Camiccianiere, I don't think we can change the name, unfortunately. So that's all we got for now. We also want to send all of our planes down to Ethiopia. Technically, though, fighters are not needed because Ethiopia doesn't have any air force, so you could just send the tactical bombers and close air support. I usually still send everything. We also want to start recruiting 21 def. I just noticed that in the spreadsheet I actually called them inf, but I think it would be better to call them def. They become inf a bit later in the run, okay. Then we're going to gather and train our navy. We need some navy experience for the design we're going to use for a light cruiser, so it's important to train them. And let's assign our main... and let's assign also the main general... Let's also assign the main admirals. The most important one is Giuseppe Fioravanzo because he has the concealment expert trait, which is one of the best. And then one of the new things you get with the DLC is these naval headquarters, which buff all of the navies in the area. So in here we want to assign the other best general we have available. This guy is pretty balanced. But it's an admiral though. So in here we want to assign the other best admiral we have available. This guy is pretty balanced, so I'm going to go with him. Except you need to click twice for some reason. For our occupation law, we're going to use local police force plus cavalry and switch to civilian oversight in high compliance regions, including Libya. And with this, the initial setup is done. Some spoilers here, some big spoilers. Now, I usually use planes to determine when it's time to start the offensive in here. And what I basically do is, once all planes have gathered, I merge them. I assign them to this region, then I split them around a little bit. So 100 fighters and some of these guys here. I don't think all planes are here though. Yeah, these ones are not there yet, okay. And as soon as you get all of the regions covered, like in this case, I consider that time to start the offensives, both in the north and in the south. The next thing to do is to keep an eye on this general level up skill, because we want to swap him with another one before he levels up. So let's keep an eye on that. Here we pick by any means necessary. And we're starting to push. Now, the priority up here is to push this side here. So all of this division here, you can micro them a little bit. Tell them to push this area first. The other ones can keep pushing in here. And we can pick Ezio Rossi for the time being.
Andiamo! Preparatevi! Abortire!
Yeah, we're pushing more successfully on this side. That's okay. So I usually prefer to push here.
Pronto all'azione! Attento! Attento! Avanzate!
Last stand is a bit annoying. We are going to send a ultimatum, of course. Then when you get these additional divisions, you can create a new army with them over this area here. Help push this side of the front. Now here in the south too, we want to prioritize pushing the sides or the center if you see a gap, like in this case. Why are these guys completely impossible to push? That's insane.
Comandi!
As soon as possible, we are going to pick bold attack. That's why we were swapping generals, so we can now go back to Vecchiarelli, which we want to level up the most. Where is he? Here. Then at 50 political power, we are going to pick the Army Organization Specialist. When something like this happens, so you see a gap, always take advantage of that. It's incredibly useful.
Pronto all'azione!
Success in the north, that's good, although the war is overall not going very well. They keep last standing. What the?
Avanzate! Prendete la mira!
Yeah, we're stuck big time in here, unless we push here, which is where we need to push. A bit unlucky.
Forza, forza! Avanzate! Avanti! Mantenete le distanze!
I forgot the exact timing, but you don't want this war to last too long, otherwise you will be in trouble. You'll start get bad modifiers, which we really don't want. And them last standing every 2 seconds certainly doesn't help.
Attento!
This did not change, by the way, in the DLC. It's just a bit unlucky that we didn't push north on this side. And so we couldn't rush Addis Ababa from this side.
Comandi! Formazione! Avanti! Avanti! Avanzate! Forza, forza! Comandi!
Okay, finally. A bit late, but we got it done. As long as you don't get bad events, it's fine. The earlier the better, but it's gonna be okay. Now, we're going to do something very ugly with Ethiopia. They deserve it for lasting so long, so we're going to balkanize them fully. This also avoids all of the resistance events and everything to do with Ethiopia, which I cannot be bothered with. So you want to puppet all of the one state ones first. Then we're going to puppet the other ones. And if you did everything correctly, you shouldn't have any puppet Ethiopia available. Then don't forget to get resource rights and war reparations. They actually have some rubber, which is very useful. And we are going to confirm. Now, that's not all though, because we want to get rid completely of this territory down here. So we're going to occupied territories. We return this stuff here. We release Eritrea as a puppet. And we return the Hausa governorate as well. So nothing in here is controlled directly by us. It's only puppets. These puppets are going to be incredibly useful. First of all, because each of them is going to develop their industry. So this area is actually going to be quite developed. And they will give us a lot of divisions that we will use in World War II.
Comandi.
Now we need to adjust the army a little bit, so we're going to merge them all together. Then we are going to remove all of the Regolari and Divisioni Coloniali. It is these guys here. It should be a total of 14, so yeah, these two as well. We are also going to remove all of the Camicie Nere. And we're going to split off all of the mountaineers. Everything else, it should be 22 divisions. We're going to change into def. Now we're going to set them up in the way we are going to use them in the rest of the run, which means the Camicie Nere will be on area defense in here. The Regolari are free for now. I usually send them at the border with Yugoslavia. The Alpini will be sent as volunteers to Spain with Vecchiarelli. So actually, let me do something like this and remove the infantry instead. I Regolari and Camicie Nere will be with a second marshal, the best defensive one. And this infantry army we can use either Ezio Rossi or Sebastiano Visconti Prasca. I think Ezio Rossi is leveling up pretty decently, so let's go with him. For now we can send them to Sicily. Later on they will be used for the invasion of Greece. Mountaineers can be in here as well. Let's make sure everybody is training. No, he's wasted on that. Now we can fix trade. We don't need to import rubber anymore. Technically, I don't know why we need to import rubber. Why am I not getting this rubber? Yeah, eventually we'll get it, I think, so it's fine. And now let's keep an eye on Navy experience, because at 28 Navy experience right now, we can stop training the Navy. We are not gonna get much fuel back, but we don't need to train the Navy anymore. And we can design our light cruisers. Now we want to change the existing Montecuccoli class into this design right here. So make sure it is the correct one. If it is the correct one, it should cost 28 Navy experience. No, what did I do? What did I do? Did I start making convoys? Did I start making convoys? Yeah, I think I clicked on convoy. Okay, as long as it's that, it's fine. By the way, very important, do not select auto upgrade, otherwise it will upgrade the armor, but we want the armor to stay at 2. So we can save this. We can add 10. We can add a production of 10 to the bottom of the queue. After that, we can make convoys. But that's not all, because we also want to refit the cruisers we already have. So in here, some of these are light cruisers that can be refitted to the new design. So let's go on and do that. It should be only 3 of them, and we want these 3 to be the highest priority when it comes to the Navy. May need to give it a second, so these last 3 must be the first 3. So you can do something like this. And make sure they are at the top.
Attento! Sì, signore.
What the fuck? Where are you going? Guys.
Pronto all'azione.
Okay.
Sì, signore.
As you get new infantry divisions, you can assign them to this army first, and then additional ones all to the Mountaineers army.
Formazione.
Now, once your infantry gets back to Italy, we can cancel the fallback line, and we can start planning the naval invasion of Greece. And here, one of the biggest changes, as naval invasions were reworked, now they are much worse than before. You can now send 6 divisions. With the basic technology, you can now send 6 divisions in 2 separate invasions, so a total of 12, which is 2 more than before, but only 2 groups, so you cannot split them around as much, and it takes 50 days to plan the invasion.
Attento. Pronto, signore.
So for the invasion, we are going to send 6 of them from here to the area of Athens. So these 3 provinces, you can click the 3 of them now. Since we cannot split them around anymore, at least we can cover the entire area. Unfortunately, these 2 provinces touch, so Athens will not be completely encircled. It's not that easy to get it, but it will be fine. The other 6... we're going to send from Catania to the area of Crete, so all of the island here. This should be much easier, then they can reinforce the rest and push Greece. Now it takes 50 days, but luckily we can start planning from now, so for the first naval invasion that's not going to be a problem. Now, ideally, we also want to set up the navy for the invasion, and this is going to be the main setup for every war, invasion, and so on. This is going to be the main setup for the navy in general, so submarines are not very useful. They must always be with a different admiral. And then the main thing will be destroyers. You want to split destroyers and the main navy in as many groups as the provinces, as the sea regions you need to cover. So in this case, it's 3 sea regions. So we're going to split them all in 3 groups, in at least 3 groups. Oops, no. And then we want to set these guys on patrol, and we want to make sure that this icon, this gear icon here, is selected. This will automatically give them the closest harbor as their sea base. Because right now you can see that they cannot go here. They don't have the range to go here. Well, that's because their location now is in Taranto. If you switch it to, say, Genova or Sardinia, of course, they will have range in this area here. So we need them to have range in here. Some of them may go to Rodi. And if you select this little gear icon here, they will do it automatically. So let me show you. If we set these guys on strike force in here, some of them, as you can see, switch to Rodi as their main location. And if we do set these guys on patrol in the same regions, some of them will also switch so that they can cover every sea region at once. Now, this is the new naval dominance system. The naval dominance system works differently from naval supremacy. Dominance is now earned over time. It is shown down here. So you don't instantly get Green Sea, even if there is no other navy. Even if there is no other navy at all, it still takes time to build up naval dominance. And you need, and to build it up, you need to have the fleet or part of the fleet on patrol. Patrol is the only mission that generates dominance by itself. Then, strike force also helps with dominance, but not directly. You can see it up here, maybe. You cannot see it up here. So, patrol generates dominance, strike force boosts the dominance generated by ships on patrol, and convoy raiding reduces dominance from the enemy fleets. So the combination of the 3 will give you dominance. Now against Greece, Turkey and so on, we don't really need to raid their convoys because that's irrelevant, they don't have a fleet. We will need patrol, and we probably don't need even strike force. By the way, strike force now consumes fuel. So you cannot just set and forget your fleet on strike force anymore. Overall, it's a lot more micromanagement. Some of you, the Navy enjoyers, I think will like it. I don't. For now, though, we don't need to do this. So for now, let's just leave everybody in position. We'll do it a bit later. At 150 political power, we're going to pick the silent workhorse. And I would make a backup save at this point.
Pronto all'azione.
We can now send back all planes to Italy, and we can train them too.
Attento. Ordini. Ordini.
Now, civil war in Spain, it's up to you, but I like to aid democratic Spain because that will give us overall a lot more army experience, which is cool. So we're going to send them volunteers. We're going to send Vecchiarelli with 3 mountaineers and air volunteers as well. I usually send fighters and I assign them like this. When you get your spies, set them both to spy on Turkey in here.
Pronto all'azione.
As soon as possible, assign a scientist. We actually need to recruit a new one. This old lady would be designing our tanks. Seems about right. With the volunteers in Spain, you can do whatever you prefer. I usually just set and forget them somewhere down here. Just like these. But I like to give them Rodolfo Graziani, so he also gets some experience. And the motorization priority. Other than that, it's really completely free what you do with them. You can also assign them the planes, so you don't need to worry about them either. Now, around August 1936, we also want to start justifying a war goal on Bulgaria.
Sì, signore. Attento! Comandi! Pronto! Pronto, signore!
As soon as we complete this focus, we are going to send a ultimatum to Yugoslavia. We don't care about Austria.
Ordini? Pronto all'azione.
The divisions you start getting from your puppets, you can simply assign them to the same army as the Irregulari. Now, in my experience, there is never a situation in which Yugoslavia refuses. If you play historical, they always accept. If they refuse, it's not the end of the world, in the sense that you can just claim them during World War II, but it's better if they accept them. You just request their forces, you get an extra army that we are not going to extensively use, but it's still better than nothing. This extra army, I usually set it up down here, and I let them train. We will use them at some point to cover this front. We also now send the Irregulari down here.
Sì, signore.
So let's just make sure that everybody's training. Here there is another light cruiser that we can upgrade. Let's do that. Again, we always want them to be the priority. Then at 127 political power, we're going to switch to war economy. We don't care about coal. And as I was mentioning, the main thing we're going to do is just import more. That's it. Okay, here we're very successful. We're being very successful in Spain. Maybe a bit too successful. So let's move down here and be maybe in a slightly less risky position. Now we need to keep an eye on Turkey. There we go. We got the required intel to prepare a collaboration government. So let's go on and do that right away. And we also want this to be a priority. So go to this tab and select high priority for operations. We want this done as soon as possible. Also, when you complete this focus, do not join the Axis. It can cause some problems, so we will not join the Axis for now.
Formazione.
Now we're going to pick ground support at 50 political power. We're going to pick ground support. And then as soon as possible, when you get to 6 air experience, it's right away for us. We're going to change this design here into this one here. Here you can select. Here you should select auto upgrade and save it. And of course, replace the production with this one. Now here some new stuff is happening in Japan. We don't particularly care about these with Japan and China, and especially with these two people. But the war tension will overall the war tension should be a little bit lower than before. But we'll see about that. They messed up the war tension a lot, so now peace conferences generate a lot less, while declaring war generates a lot more.
Avanzate.
Why is Spain devastating nationalist Spain though? I mean, it's okay, but it's a bit weird.
Andiamo. Comandi. Avanzate.
At 150 political power, we're going to pick the Grand Battle Plan Expert. And we're going to add to our def some anti-air and save it.
Formazione.
We want to make sure that these guys will be training.
Avanti. Mantenete le distanze. Mantenete le distanze. Pronto all'azione. Pronto, signore.
We got our claim on Bulgaria. We're about to get the claims on Turkey, so it's almost time for some action in here. Just before that, we have enough political power to pick the infantry expert. You should be closer to being... You should now be close to being able to get... No. You should be about... Okay, let me do that again. You should be at about 110 army experience. In any case, as soon as possible, you want to pick the first Grand Battle Plan Doctrine, so something new here again. We have a lot of good doctrines in here, especially sub-doctrines, and Grand Battle Plan, we are lucky because it is the best Grand Doctrine, so we're already very happy with that. So in operations, we want to pick a Grand Assault. This is by far my favorite sub-doctrine, so this is the priority. We also want to... You could have done this at the beginning of the run, actually. You also want to pick a well-planned attack as the favorite tactic. Now, at this point, we want to start getting the naval dominance. So let's put these guys on strike force and these guys on patrol. It should be quite fast. So hopefully we will get it before the claims or more or less at the same time. Okay, we already got it here. We got the claims. Just a couple more days here. As soon as you get the collaboration in Turkey, you can start spying on Romania. I think one more day and we're there. Okay, we got the supremacy everywhere we need it. Now we can assign all planes to this army here. We can bring back Rodolfo Graziani. And it's time for the Balkan Wars. I always recommend making a save at this point. Same as before the guide, if you reload during these wars, usually Romania joins the Allies. That's a bug, by the way, they shouldn't join the Allies, and they don't usually do that, but if you reload the game, there is a chance, so try not to reload the game, and if you need to reload the game, try to reload the game from before the series of wars, so at this point here. So now you want to declare all of these wars at the same time. That's Greece, Bulgaria, and Turkey. And Romania will join because it's guaranteeing them. And then you want to trigger your naval invasion right away. These wars are not harder than before, but the naval invasions can be a little bit tricky. Once you trigger the naval invasion, it's a good idea to set some of the destroyers on naval invasion support. Okay, the first invasion here in Crete is going very well. This one, not so well.
Prendete la mira.
Okay, that's better.
Mantenete le distanze.
Now, the other thing you can do is you can select some of the larger ships at this point, and you can manually try to send them next to the coast, so they give the shore bombardment bonus. But overall, it's going all right.
Avanzate! Forza, forza! Ordini?
Yeah, so I'm manually sending these larger ships here, so we get the short bombardment bonus. Fine, okay, we finally got Athens. This is the tricky part usually, so now you can send over the entire army here. I'm also going to send over this other army. Okay, we finally also got the successful industrialization program, slightly later, but that's fine. And when that happens, you want to cancel additional civilian factories unless they are basically built, and start building military factories in all of the 100% provinces, and then this 80% one.
Sì, signore. Avanzate!
Ooh,
Pronto.
that's bad.
Mantenete le distanze! Pronto, signore.
I'm going to force deploy these divisions. We actually need them. We don't want to train them right now.
Formazione.
Here actually the highest priority is to get away from this choke point, so I will keep pushing north.
Prendete la mira.
Okay, now the situation is not as bad as it looked. There is another choke point here, but this one is not as bad.
Continuate l'attacco. Non fermatevi. Comandi. Comandi. Pronto all'azione.
Oh, we didn't take that.
Comandi.
That we took.
Continuate ad avanzare. Pronto, signore. Pronto all'azione. Attento. Pronto.
Okay, very good. Actually quite smooth with Greece. Sometimes it can get a little bit tricky here. Things don't go well. So we're simply going to annex Greece. And here you can see, by the way, the peace conference. Though Greece is not the best example, but you can see how the war tension is actually going down now when you annex stuff in the peace conference. It's a bit weird, but yeah, okay. So let's take Greece and immediately pause the game. There are a couple of things we need to do now. Well, first of all, we're going to pick the war industrialist up here. We're going to check the collab in Romania. Okay, it's not time yet. Now, the divisions we prepared in here, we need to quickly send them to protect this border. Usually I go for a fallback line in here, usually. They need to do that as fast as possible, so use trains. And then we also want to plan a naval invasion of Turkey. That's the next target. Let's see if we got maybe... Oh, we didn't get the invader trait, huh? That's not great.
Pronto.
Well, if you get the invader trait, that's usually much better. Oh, so this guy is not leveling up as well as I thought. So I'm going to switch back to Sebastiano Visconti Prussia, I think. No, actually, that's not a good idea.
Sì, signore. Formazione.
As I was mentioning before the DLC, now Invader is one of the best traits as it reduces from 50 to 35 days the days required for a naval invasion, and that really makes a difference. In any case, we don't get it now. We didn't get it now, so we're going to have to go without it.
Comandi. Ordini. Formazione.
Now we no longer need to cover this sea region, we only care about these two. And the naval invasion is going to be in this area, which is very tricky. It's probably the hardest naval invasion in this series.
Attento. Comandi.
I think I may want to use some mountaineers for that, so I will assign them to this army.
Ordini. Attento.
And then we're going to plan the naval invasion from 18th to this area here, so we can go for these two provinces. Why no divisions? Oh, no divisions. Don't tell me no divisions.
Formazione.
So from Athens to here, and then again
Pronto.
from Athens to here. The most important thing is to take this harbor as fast as possible.
Comandi.
And the other army, we can prepare it in here. We will trigger actually another naval invasion in this area.
Pronto, signore. Attento.
And we can train them for now.
Pronto.
How do we not have supremacy here, boys? Too many people on naval invasion support, I guess. Okay, switch back to patrol.
Sì, signore. Pronto.
Once this front stabilizes, you can switch to a regular front line and start giving them some planning for later on.
Formazione.
By the way, calling Yugoslavia is an option, but I don't usually do it. I don't want to cover this entire front, so I prefer this setup. Okay, we got back the supremacy, at least dominance or whatever. Yeah, and now we need to wait for 50 days. That's an annoying part of this new system.
Pronto.
We better keep an eye on Romania. Soon we'll be able to get the collaboration government. This collaboration government is very important actually, so let's try to get it. There we go. So, quiet network. And let's prepare it. And let's pause the game to import some coal. How fun! How fun is this new system? Oh my god.
Comandi.
I'm pretty sure after this naval invasion we will get the invader trait, and then the next one will be at least a little bit faster. It's not great though. Yeah, finally we got naval invasion planned. Let's trigger it, because unfortunately this is also a tricky one to get. Depending on how many divisions they have in there. Now, at 60 army experience, you should be able to pick the next doctrine discounted, so we are going to go for assault infantry here.
Pronto all'azione.
Okay. Tricky, because 3 divisions is a lot. Let's see if we can get it done.
Pronto all'azione.
No,
Avanzate.
2 of them I want to attack.
Avanzate.
Need to use a force attack here.
Ordini.
By the way, I did not realize, but they actually did not protect this. They didn't take this harbor, so we may be able to get there
Andiamo.
without the naval invasion. The naval invasion is still needed. They usually take that harbor though, so it's a bit lucky probably in this case.
Andiamo.
But yeah, look at this. That's perfect. That's freaking
Pronto
awesome.
all'azione. Attento.
But these guys are in big trouble if you don't take the harbor quickly, so please take the harbor quickly. Nice, we got it. And please give me the invader trait. Okay, guys, we are turning this around finally. So invader will be incredibly helpful. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to swap things around a little bit. So these guys will prepare in here to push into Turkey, and that's perfect. With these guys, we want to plan a naval invasion of this area here. However, we absolutely want Eziorozi to lead it, because Eziorozi has the invader trait. It will make it much faster. So we're going to switch them. We are going to switch them around. What the freaking Becquerel. Okay. Now you don't get the buff right away because he's en route, but that's 15 days. You still get the discount after he gets to Crete. This one is an easier naval invasion, so 6 in here.
Pronto all'azione.
And another 6 along the coast here.
Forza, forza.
And once again, I will send one of the larger fleets there. We don't need them on strike force anyway. Now, at this point, we want to improve relations with Japan and then send them an attaché as soon as they would accept.
Formazione.
They're actually defending this port, which is not usually the case.
Attento.
Let's get them some planning. Okay, now we can send the attaché to Japan. Perfect. We're also going to add the production. We're also going to add some more military factories to our production. And then infrastructures followed by military factories in Veneto, Abruzzo, and Sicilia.
Formazione.
Okay, these guys seem pretty much ready, so I think we can start this first offensive here.
Attento.
And here we need a little bit more for the naval invasion, right? How about we go there? There is nobody there. You encircle them. How cool would that be, guy? Hmm? That would be cool, huh?
Formazione. Avanti. Formazione.
Okay, now they're sending all of their divisions to reinforce this front, which will make our second naval invasion much easier.
Sì, signore. Pronto, signore. Formazione.
Yeah, no, don't push them. Just, like, look at them.
Sì, signore.
Okay, let's trigger the second naval invasion.
Comandi.
If we can do something cool here.
Attento. Comandi.
Oh yeah, I like the way this is going.
Ordini.
And I also very much like this naval invasion being successful. That's perfect. Of course they intercepted the only two that were going to get the harbor. Of course.
Attento.
Why wouldn't they? In any case, we got the harbor. Now we can send over all divisions and we can immediately push the entire front. They don't have a lot of stuff in here. Nah,
Pronto.
that's a bit annoying.
Avanzate.
No,
Riparatevi.
not these ones. These ones. Come on. Oh, fuck. This guy's
Prendete la
dead.
mira.
Cannot stop looking for 1 second. Ah, we already lost 2 of them. That's awesome. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Do not create collaboration governments. We need all of the land controlled by ourselves. Also, when you get enough army experience, pick tip of the spear.
Attento. Fermatevi.
Okay, at least we saved these guys. Okay, we lost 2 infantry divisions. How fun. How fun. Let's recruit them again.
Comandi. Pronto, signore. Ritirata. Comandi. Fermatevi.
I mean, they are also going to lose some infantry divisions in here for sure. We can stop some of the fleet, see if we can get some fuel back, but that's not really an option. It's also not a big deal to have no fuel in this run, in this part of the run. So it's okay.
Pronto, signore. Sì, signore. Andiamo! Pronto, signore. Sì, signore. Pronto. Pronto all'azione.
When the commissioner are no longer needed in here, you can send them up here and try to get Istanbul if possible. Now with this setup, we should be able to capitulate them fairly quickly at this point. When you get to these, you can just rush the victory points. It's gonna be over in no time.
Pronto, signore.
Maybe already enough? No, it's not enough. But it may be enough very soon.
Forza, forza! Sì, signore.
There we go, Turkey is down. We did an awesome job. Despite the late naval invasion, I think we're pretty much on time with the run. So with Turkey again, we just annex them and take the navy. Now it's time to get ready for Romania. More fun is coming for us. Let me give these 2 divisions here. The main thing about Romania is we can rush them from down here. If we play it well enough, it's gonna be smooth. However, sometimes it's better to wait for the collaboration government. Since we're a bit late, I think we will be pretty much timed well with the collaboration government. It's good to have the extra compliance in Romania. Now, we also want to reassign the fleet entirely to this area, because just in case, we're also going to plan a naval invasion, in case things don't go well. So for the naval invasion, of course, we're going to use Ezzerosi. We're going to trigger it from here.
Avanzate! Pronto.
And the primary target is going to be up here.
Formazione.
And here, something like this. That part of the coast is what we want.
Attento. Sì, signore.
Make sure everybody's using trains, because we do want to be fast here.
Pronto, signore. Formazione.
Now, the cool part is this area is usually almost completely undefended.
Sì, signore. Comandi.
Oh, Vecchiarelli can pick... well-planned attack. Why not?
Ordini?
And as soon as you get the planning start, this offensive, there is no need to wait for the naval invasion. Usually this offensive is enough to cap Romania, or put them in a very, very tough spot in any case. You just want to rush them quickly before they can prepare for it.
Ordini? Ci respingiamo, signore! Ordini?
But you can see how smooth it is because they don't have divisions. Most of their divisions are on this front, so they are not prepared at all. 16 days, that's looking good.
Formazione!
That's not looking good.
Formazione! Avanzate!
Looking good, that's not looking good.
Pronto! Formazione! Comandi! Avanzate! Sì, signore!
Can you go there? Okay, we also triggered the naval invasion, that's perfect.
Pronto! Andiamo! Forza, forza, forza! Formazione!
Damn it.
Comandi!
Keep losing divisions. Okay, Michionera, the least important ones, but it's a bit sad. Who did I give? Commissioner cannot be renamed, so at least I'm not doing any of you dirty. Now, when you get enough political power, you can switch to extensive conscription. Slightly late, but that's fine.
Pronto all'azione!
We can now send over all divisions in here and keep pushing. 2 days to the collab. I don't think the collab is going to be enough, but maybe. We'll see, we'll see. Oh, we saved it, guys. Okay, the collab is there, but it is not enough. Not a big problem. That means we're officially slightly late. We can also start pushing with these guys down here now. Let's import some coal. How fun is this new mechanic? How fun.
Formazione. Pronto, signore. Avanzate. Sì, signore. Sì, signore. Pronto all'azione. Formazione. Pronto all'azione.
Go there, take the fucking victory points, come on.
Comandi.
More retarded than ever, these divisions. Can you go down, please? What the fuck is this?
Avanti!
Usually you don't need to get all the way to Cluj if you have the collab. For some reason, they are not giving up. And look at that, Bulgaria, just last standing, constantly last standing. Awesome, awesome stuff. Yeah, okay, but at least we are there here. Just one more victory point, and we got finally, I must say, Romania. Very annoying, Romania. Of course, they're fighting for the last victory point.
Attento.
In the end, we needed to rush Cluj. Look at that. Despite the collaboration government, quite crazy. So we are going to annex Romania as well. Now we finally destroy freaking Bulgaria, which somehow is still alive.
Ordini.
We send the entire army. Full overkill. I don't care. And we're going to pick the decisive battle specialist. We can finally stop the navy and get some fuel.
Pronto.
And we also got some oil actually in
Pronto, signore.
Romania. So
Pronto, signore.
please just take them down.
Ordini.
You finished your command power for last standing, huh? Okay, nice. And we are next Bulgaria. And we are done with the Balkan Wars. So far, it went smoothly. Same as before the DLC. So this part wasn't damaged too much by the DLC. With the right strategy, despite the longer naval invasions. Yeah, the naval invasions are a bit trickier because it was much better before. Faster naval invasions were significantly better. But the final outcome didn't change. That's what really matters. Now, we do need to do some setting up. Now, we need to do some setup here, because after the Balkans, we're going straight for the World War II setup. So let's prepare for that. First of all, let me deploy these guys, so we have the armies as they should be. Now, we're also going to pick the air spirits and doctrines when possible. We want to bring, I think Dr. Hoops, I'm going to change you now, and I'm going to give somebody else a name in this run as well, because unfortunately I don't have many divisions. So I'm going to change Dr. Hoops to Gator Cat, Inf, and all we're going to do is we're going to bring it to 16 width. Now, we want to recruit a total of 53 infantry divisions, and we cannot do that right away, so we're going to have to force deploy them over time to get to a total of 53 as soon as possible. Going to gather the navy. We can now join the Axis, and we can send the navy to northern Germany. We want to start a claim on Corsica or any other claim state. We're going to change the occupation law to civilian oversight everywhere except for Bulgaria and Kurdistan. So in Kurdistan we keep local police force. In Turkey we can go civilian oversight. In Romania we can go civilian oversight. Yeah, actually, so we're going to switch to civilian oversight in Romania and in Turkey. And we're going to use our spies on root out resistance in the worst areas, which are usually this one. And we can probably do it in Greece or in Bulgaria. We're going to change the production a little bit. Artillery to 3, anti-air to 4. F1 to 10. Support equip to 8. Infantry equip to 0 and then all. So, lowest priority. Of course, we're going to adjust trade. And now the army setup. Now we split off the mountaineers once again, and we send all of them as volunteers to Spain. Now you can choose whichever Spain you like. I prefer to send them again to Democratic Spain, even if you win the civil war as Democratic Spain, which is likely with our mountaineers. It's fine. They don't become a puppet of the Soviet Union right away. We can do the same exact thing we would normally do and take them after World War II. So I'll just send them all of my mountaineers with the air volunteers.
Ordini? Sì, signore.
Then this infantry army, which eventually will be of 24, a complete one, or actually 2 of 12, will be pushing in Africa. One on this side,
Attento.
and one on this side. This other infantry army will be pushing Poland from Germany. The only purpose is to get us some war score. Although in the meantime, we are going to send them as volunteers to Japan, Manchukuo, and the Mongol government. So let's check how many. 5, 5, and 2.
Pronto.
So let's split them.
Pronto, signore. Sì, signore.
You could also send them to the Chinese factions. You can send a lot more of them in that way and get even more army experience, but that's annoying and too much micromanagement, so I just send them to Japan. And I forgot to send the air volunteers, but you should also send air volunteers here. You can do it later too. Now, what you want to do is you want to send them all at the same time because after they are sent, they reduce your volunteers' capacity. So if we were to send them now, we could only send 4 because they are on their way to Japan. Now let's gather our planes, train them, but I also need to send some of them to all of the volunteers. Let's send the fighters to Spain. And usually only tactical bombers to Japan, as China doesn't really have an air force.
Pronto, signore.
Again, up to you what you do with the volunteers. We're not going to cover it in the edited version of this video. I would recommend using all of the groups to push along the coast of China, just because there are the most supplies there. So they will suffer less from attrition.
Attento. Pronto all'azione. Attento. Pronto all'azione.
Give them all the motorization priority and use generals that you want to level up.
Attento. Attento.
Yeah, this one doesn't really matter much.
Pronto all'azione. Formazione.
I don't know if this Spain even needed my volunteers. They are destroying nationally Spain in this one.
Comandi.
Have anything cool here? No.
Pronto, signore. Pronto, signore.
Both of them. Why only one?
Pronto, signore. Attento.
Then the Camicie Nere will be pushing Corsica from Sardinia, probably unsuccessfully, plus a few of the African puppet divisions. One from here, a couple from here.
Comandi.
This army here, the Yugoslavian army, will be on area defense in Greece and Turkey. That's where we are most likely to encounter naval invasions from the UK.
Formazione.
And the Irregolari will be pushing into Poland from Romania. Here.
Pronto all'azione. Comandi. Avanzate.
And as I was mentioning, force deploy these divisions as soon as possible and recruit more. How much more? I don't know. Yeah, because I can't remember how many they were before, so I need to count a bit. Okay, so what we need basically is
Ordini.
these guys to be filled.
Pronto.
Filled, okay. Then
Pronto.
we need 3 army of 24 inf and 4 army of 24 inf. So we need a total of 4 armies of 24 inf. So 12 plus 12, that's 1. This one is another one. So we need another 2 armies of 24 inf. That's too many, I think. So it's 15 plus 24. Which is 39, isn't it? I hope I did the calculation right here. There's something missing though. 3. 4. He's 4 though.
Formazione.
One army here. One army here. One army here. One army. Yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine.
Comandi. Attento.
Oh fuck. I was too slow, the Japanese already pushed here. Now I need to reassign all of these fronts.
Sì, signore. Comandi. Pronto, signore. Pronto,
Listen, I will
signore.
just tell them to push when they get there, because cannot be bothered. Oh, let's pause the game to import some coal. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's a game-changing feature.
Li respingiamo, signore. Avanzate.
And we are completely destroying Spain. Completely.
Attento.
We're not destroying them anymore now. Nice.
Comandi. Pronto all'azione.
We're also destroying China.
Pronto.
Where are the Chinese divisions?
Pronto, signore.
Don't forget to force deploy the infantry. You want them deployed and trained, and especially they will increase the cap for mountaineers, which is really important for us.
Attento. Pronto all'azione.
So the two additional infantry armies we are recruiting will be used at the border with Syria. And one will be supporting the mountaineers in their push against France here later on. However, this one pushing into France doesn't need to be full right away. It's more important to have this one full. So I'm actually going to use the volunteers from this army and keep this one at full capacity. We also made Mussolini happy, and that's the most important thing.
Pronto. Forza, forza! Attento!
At 150 political power, we are going to pick the editor. Going to force deploy once again.
Attento! Pronto all'azione. Comandi. Ordini?
Oh.
Sì, signore. Ordini?
Disarmi,
Sì, signore.
ok. We now want to pick the Mountaineers doctrines. Especially we need the first 3 as soon as possible. We should get there quickly. Now I'm going to pick Battlefield Support as our Grand Doctrine for air.
Pronto, signore. Attento. Pronto all'azione. Pronto. Atti! Sì, signore.
Force deploy one last time.
Attento. Sì, signore. Comandi.
Okay, now we got all of the infantry divisions we need. The next goal is to get the Mountaineers divisions we need. And we just need a little bit more, but we need the next special forces doctrine to reduce the cost a little bit. So we're going to wait a bit longer for that. Now though, we're going to take over the Ministry of Corporations here. And then as soon as possible, as soon as we finish this research here, we're going to design our new tank. So this is the design we are going for. Let's save it. And let's start producing it. Why is my light cruiser outdated? Not outdated. What are you talking about? Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, boy. We also want to start producing armored support vehicles. we're going to assign 3 factories to armored support vehicles. Infantry goes down to 15 and everything goes into our T1. We also want to finish these last 2 Littorio classes, so we're going to assign all dockyards to them. We're going to take these dockyards from convoys. Finally, we want to build more military factories in the best available provinces. That includes some of the ones we annexed, like in here I see some 80%, and then in Yugoslavia, all of the 60%. This is important to decrease their autonomy later on. Now we're also waiting for the... No, I don't need to say that. Okay.
Andiamo!
No, Vecchiarelli, don't get wounded, come on. These guys are still pushing, That's nice. Oh, some coal to import. Oh my god.
Formazione.
We're actually getting pushed here, boys. That's not cool.
Sì, signore. Non fermatevi!
Ooh, adaptable is very good. I'll pick it. And this is also very good. This is also very good.
Non fermatevi! Abortire!
Okay, we finally got the Lanciafiamme. We can now pick Danieli Industrial Concern.
Li respingiamo, signore!
We're a bit late with the Mountaineers because we're a bit late with these doctrines. We'll get there, but it's taking some time.
Mantenete le distanze!
Oh, importing some coal. How fun. Okay, we finally can get the last Special Forces doctrine we need here. Now we need to change the Alt-T to have another 3 Mountaineers. So a 9-0, we can save it. And we want to recruit the max amount of Mountaineers. Could it be some coal? No, it's not coal this time, okay.
Attento! Mantenete le distanze! Mira! Fuoco nemico! Pronto!
Now with African puppets we can create another army that will be on area defense in Libya. Especially, actually, naval bases defense.
Continuate l'attacco! Vi respingiamo, signore! Sì, signore!
Going to pick fighter bombers here.
Continuate l'attacco! Fuoco nemico!
Okay, let's make sure that these guys are not pushing in areas completely without supplies, which is probably what they are doing. Do we have anything anywhere with supplies? Yeah, here. This is a good place to push.
Continuate l'attacco! Forza, forza! Ordini? Ordini? Avanzate!
Spain is actually losing now. We probably cannot save them. I don't know. Depends a bit on the mountaineers. But since we're a bit late and a bit low on infantry equip as well, maybe not this time. Of course, it doesn't matter if National in Spain wins. We are very happy. We just don't like to lose these mountaineers. So worst case scenario, we retreat them to Malaga. Now we can pick tactical bombing. And at this point I usually want to force deploy everything, but unfortunately we have a bit of a deficit and we started recruiting these guys a bit late. So for now we're not going to be able to do that.
Pronto! Avanzate! Formazione! Continuate l'attacco! Fermatevi! Pronto, signore! Pronto! Attento! Ordini? Comandi? Ordini? Continuate l'attacco!
We can now pick army regrouping.
Non fermatevi! Formazione! Formazione! Andiamo! Pronto all'azione!
We can import some coal.
Avanzate!
That's not gonna help with the deficit. Now, at this point, we should have enough army experience to make some additional changes. First of all, we want to add... So we want to add rangers to both infantry and mountaineers. And then to mountaineers, we also add logistics and the assault engineer vehicles. And we're a bit behind with the flame tank, but soon we want to add it as well. And while it's a bit sad, I don't think we are able to save Spain this time. I must say there is quite a bit of RNG involved in the civil war in Spain. Sometimes you completely destroy them, sometimes you don't. It doesn't seem to depend on us that much.
Non fermatevi! Vi respingiamo, signore! Formazione! Continuate l'attacco.
As soon as you unlock this technology, you can make some better planes. So we're going to change this F1 into F1 plus, and we're going to produce this one instead. At this point, I usually like to also gather and train my fleet up in the north. So let's do that. There, yes. We can also finally we can also deploy these mountaineers, and we can start recruiting one more. And if we did everything correctly, we should have a total of 12. So it's 5 plus 1 plus 6 that we just deployed. So that's perfect. We can prepare them at the border with Italy. These other ones, they will be pushing into France. And in the meantime, of course, we want to train them.
Sì, signore. Pronto all'azione.
It's fun because these mountaineers are becoming insane, and despite Spain losing, we can now completely destroy them.
Continuate l'attacco. Non fermatevi. Pronto.
They will be even more insane later.
Pronto, signore.
But this might not be enough to save Spain.
Sì, signore. Ordini? Comandi.
I guess if we want to try, we need to try from here.
Ordini?
Okay, when you get this message about the attachés, the old trick still works. So you need to find out who it is. And it's this... Who is it? This guy's here. Then you negotiate market access until their opinion of you gets bad enough. And then it will be free to keep your attachés. Now we also have the required army experience to make the final changes to our mountaineers, and that's to add a lot of medium tanks to them. 4 of them specifically. So we bring these to this template here. Now the template is only missing a couple of things. The final Mountaineers doctrines, which will reduce Mountaineers combat with, and the flame tanks that we are not producing yet. But it's already an insane template. Going to take this one here. But this one is also good. I haven't fully studied the air doctrines yet, so there will be a future video on that.
Pronto.
Yeah, nobody's gonna cover our back here. course, here we are completely out of supplies again. No, we're not. We're not completely out of supplies.
Sì, signore.
This is a very successful Japan, I must say.
Pronto all'azione. Comandi.
Just give me the tanks and then we will be unstoppable.
Formazione.
Very late with the flame tank,
signore.
unfortunately.
Non fermatevi. Attento.
I think we're getting some tanks in here.
Forza. Avanti.
Now we can pick more mountaineer doctrines. Doctrines?
Li respingiamo, signore.
No, so sad. Just when I was starting to have some fun. Okay, no Spain for us, but that will preserve some of the infantry equip. We're actually a bit below standards there. That's totally fine. Also gives us the chance to prepare for the front a bit earlier.
Sì, signore.
So now we can bring back Rodolfo Graziani. Look at how cool he is now. That's awesome. We can start picking some of the Navy doctrines. Specifically, I like torpedo primacy here. So we're going to pick this one, which we can later on pair with night fighting. Now, night fighting is tied to the base strike doctrine, but you can also pick it if you have torpedo primacy. So we're going to use it and stack up some insane night attack bonuses.
Li respingiamo, signore. Avanzate.
We can speed up things a little bit at least.
Formazione. Attento. Pronto, signore.
I need to deploy this guy. Okay, we got Albania and we made Mussolini even happier. Awesome.
all'azione.
Now let's go on and pick night fighting. Yeah.
Pronto.
The hell, what is wrong?
Ordini. Ordini. Pronto, signore.
Oh, let's import some. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll take the 5 political power loss. It's fine.
Sì, signore. Comandi. Pronto. Fuoco nemico. Formazione. Non fermatevi. Pronto, signore. Comandi. Comandi.
Oh, finally we got the Lanciafiamme, the flame tanks, so let's produce them right away. It's way late, but it's okay. Nothing fancy, we just go with this very basic design. Give them 3 factories from tanks and add them to our insane Alpini divisions. Now, in May 1939, we want to start a justification. We want to start a justification on Poland, so we will be fully in control of what happens in World War II. We also want to move the rest of the fleet north, make sure that they are training. Make sure that they train all the way to regular. At this point, we're also going to request forces from our puppets in Africa. Why do I see a bunch of divisions and I cannot request any of them? Come on. You should get quite a lot of divisions actually out of there, and all of them will be defending Africa.
Pronto all'azione. Comandi.
Let's make sure that everyone here is training. We also want to deploy and train all of our planes. And finally, we want to start spying on France and on the UK in the south. We're also going to get the Naval Department upgrade. We don't need to save now, actually.
Formazione. Formazione. Pronto, signore. Pronto, signore.
Okay, we got the claim on Poland, and it's almost time for World War II.
Formazione.
Unfortunately, the Mountaineers are a bit behind in terms of training, but it's okay.
Pronto, signore. Pronto all'azione.
Yeah, we actually get most of them ready. Here we go for this one. And for the Navy, the second most important one, in my opinion, is this one, which gives us a nice 10% attack when fighting alongside Pride of the Fleet. So most of our important ships will get it.
Sì, signore.
Yeah, I think we're done in here, and we can start assigning the generals. That's actually more important, bringing them back. So Vecchiarelli is already in position. We're going to use some good offensive one in here. Maybe Messe.
Pronto all'azione.
We can use Ezio Rossi and Visconti Prasca in Africa.
Formazione.
This one is less important, it will just be support.
Sì, signore.
Everything is more or less fine. Let's assign some trades. Probably we have something good in here. Yeah, okay, that's good enough.
Attento.
I'm happy. In the end, we got the training. I was a bit worried. We were behind. Only one tank divisions will not... only one of the divisions will not be fully trained. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. Now, we also want all planes to be ready to support our army. So let's assign them... well, let's send them here and assign them all to the offensive army. Now, the cool thing about these planes here is they are decent. Not perfect, but decent stats. And in this way we can get quite a good amount of them in time for World War II. Of course, we wouldn't be able to get as many fighters, F2 fighters in time, so that's great.
Ordini.
Now, as you complete this focus, that's a sign it's time to start World War II. So let's make a backup save now. So we're going to declare war on France, we are going to declare war on Poland, and yeah, Lithuania sometimes gets in it, that's okay, whatever they like to do. Let's stop training the fleet for now, just to be safe, and let's trigger every single offensive. We want to push everywhere. And the primary goal of pushing everywhere, now this one we actually don't want to push, the primary goal of pushing everywhere is to farm war score that we're going to get in the peace conference. So we don't really need to push here. Capitulating the UK is enough. But that's all extra score for us in the final conference. Declaring these wars also enables Super Esercito, so let's go and pick it. And for now, we can just focus on enjoying this lovely push with the insane mountaineer divisions against a very well-defended French border. But we don't care, because our mountaineers are absolutely insane. By the way, let me show you the stats very quickly. This is what we are talking about. It's only 24.2 with... but these stats and the terrain bonuses are insane. We are attacking in the mountains with tanks and we get a plus 43% attack. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, Ezio Rossi decides to get heal right now. That's a very Italian thing to do. Somebody didn't want to take part in my offensive, I see. And we need to import more coal. Yes, let's do it. We can finally pick the last special forces doctrine to make our mountaineers even more insane. What is it that I can pick here? Oh, I can pick this one because I have discount. Except this one is completely useless, unfortunately, because we don't have strategic bombers. So I guess we pick this one, but they're all useless. Germany is not into this yet. Okay, Germany is into this now. Okay, that's fine. They took their time. Oh, I see some lovely divisions encircled in there. That's fun. Well, I mean, at this point you can just enjoy these guys steamrolling into France. And when the time comes, you can direct them to Paris. Okay, we finally got back all of our volunteers, which we can merge back into this army, this support army. And yeah, now it's time for these tanks to push more in the direction of Paris. Let's try a spearhead. Let's see if they fix spearheads. They didn't. Spoiler alert, they didn't. How is the situation in Africa? In Africa, things are also going pretty well. Yeah, this is usually the only one you cannot push. They have way too many divisions in there with a river crossing, with a strait crossing. That's impossible. Syria is down, Lebanon is down, Giovanni Messe is down. Oh yeah, they're down big time. Now look at this, we're all pushing an empty tile in here. That's awesome. So let's push in here instead.
Avanzate! Ordini!
It's fun, these divisions, you just click somewhere you want to go and they will be there in no time. For example, let's say we want to go to Paris on a trip. So we right click it. And let's say we want to import some coal because that's fun. That's fun, boys. That's very, very fun. Okay, Poland is going down like very quickly. Where is my fucking music, by the way? Yeah, aggression. Give me some aggression music. Poland is fully down. Let's use these divisions to push into Lithuania since they decided to be part of this, to have some fun with us. Ooh, we're getting closer.
Sì, signore.
We are getting closer.
Avanzate. Pronto all'azione.
Research, that's nice. Now we can pick the logistical focus, always very good.
Pronto, signore. Sì, signore.
Push, push, push. Okay, we got Paris, we got France. France is down. Bye, France. Now, let's look at the score, because we got 74%, and usually what happened before the DLC is that from now on the score tends to go down a little bit. In the end, you still get the majority, but not an overwhelming majority. Well, you will see something very cool this time, very soon. Now, what we want to do at this point is we want to start a justification on Belgium and on Luxembourg at the same time. As long as it's 10 days, we are happy with that.
Pronto.
We're going to push, of course, with our perfect divisions in here too.
Sì, signore.
While the support army can temporarily protect the coastline, but the coastline will be protected by someone else, actually. So what we can do now is we can actually use our fleet, and we can use it to great effect. So we're going to send it here. We're going to stop some sea regions, though, because there is no point in getting raided for nothing. So we don't want to actually be in here. In here we can get another admiral. Okay, let's do it. And what we are going to do with this fleet is the aggressive setup. Now there are a couple of setups to fight the UK. We are going to use the aggressive one. Let's see if we can pick concealment expert. We can. That's very, very good. So we split off the destroyers, we split them into separate groups, we leave them on engage at medium risk, and we set them on patrol in the channel. The rest of the fleet, the rest of the larger fleets, we also split them into two, and we set them on strike force, also engage at medium risk, and never repair. Actually, never repair on all of them. The submarines, we split them into smaller groups, like 8, and we set them on convoy raiding. Engage at medium risk is okay, but let's let them repair. And now let's see what happens with the Royal Navy, but to help with that we're also going to set all of our planes in here, assign them to the channel, and add some naval striking. And we should be engaging them pretty soon. Okay, there is the first naval battle in here, and you will see the outcome, which is probably not what you would expect when you fight the Royal Navy. Like, we completely destroyed them. Destroyed them in there, and look at the channel, the dominance is already starting to switch to us.
Attento. Sì, signore.
Yeah, we can push in here. Everything going well here. Everything going okay here. I mean, why do they ask me about about Poland? No, yeah, it's okay. Take it, take it, take it. Okay, looks like there is going to be another big battle here. Oh, look at the Royal Navy. Yeah, it says we lost, but actually we lost 2 submarines. They lost destroyers and heavy cruisers and so on. We're completely destroying them. That's the only truth in here. Another big battle here. Ooh, look at the Royal Navy going down and going down quick. Now, another couple of spirits I like. This one, no, the first one is not particularly impactful. And here we can give some organization to submarines. Oh, we got the claims. I missed it. Fuck. Okay, so we can declare on Belgium and Luxembourg, and we can justify on the Netherlands and Ireland.
Pronto, signore. Avanti! Pronto all'azione.
Oh, we even managed to get part of Corsica. That's very nice. Very happy to see that.
Formazione.
Yeah, what about that little bit there?
Signore.
God damn cool. The Belgium is down.
Comandi.
Let's prepare for the Netherlands. Just to give you an idea, 92% control ratio in the channel. That's how much we are destroying the UK. What is this? What is this mess?
Pronto. Pronto, signore.
No, there's a dead. Okay, claim on the Netherlands. Let's take them down too. And let's tag Ireland. And next we're going to tag Saudi Arabia and Iraq. Ah, and by the way, the war score is switching heavily in our favor, and look at the sunk enemy ships value in there. It's now the biggest one. And we're not done yet.
Attento. Avanti. Ordini.
Okay. They are getting steamrolled, as it should be.
Pronto, signore.
The Germans were not defending that front. What are they doing? Okay, Netherlands down. And we control everything. That's the fun part of it.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, and it's now time to plan our naval invasion of the UK. Groups of 6, one group to these 2 provinces here, and the other one to this area down here. Of course, having full naval supremacy is going to help massively with this, so that's great.
Comandi.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mess. This is a bit of a mess, but mostly for the British.
Comandi.
Here we can prepare. We will be pushing the entire front against Iraq and Saudi Arabia soon.
Formazione. Ordini.
It's crazy that these guys are not dying.
Pronto all'azione.
And to speed up the naval invasion, let's get our naval invader. Hopefully he's not sick anymore. It's Hiroshi, if I remember correctly. Where is he? Yeah, it's Hiroshi. So we're going to pick Hiroshi to speed up the naval invasion. Okay, we got our claims.
Pronto all'azione.
Visions are not in position yet, though. I think at this point we can give Paris to Germany and get Vichy France into it. This is just in case, so let me explain how this works. First of all, if you don't have La Resistance, you shouldn't do this, because then Vichy France will be a puppet of Germany. If you have La Resistance, Vichy France will not be a puppet of Germany, will be guaranteed by Germany. The advantage of creating it is you can claim and take it after the war, so they will be in a separate peace conference and you can fully concentrate on what you need in this peace conference. Now with this new system, with the amount of score that we get, that's probably not even needed, but I will still do it just in case. We may lose this naval battle, don't we? That's crazy.
Pronto.
We also want to pick the field engineering doctrine in here.
Attento.
That was a big battle that didn't exactly go our way. But we're still destroying them.
Pronto.
Germany, where is my Vichy France?
Pronto, signore.
Our dominance is at 98.2%. Okay, and there we got Vichy France. Now we can take back Paris. It's always very fun how you trade you trade Paris back and forth. Okay, this is not very good.
Forza,
This
forza.
guy's got completely encircled in there. Not ideal.
Sì, signore.
Not ideal. And now we can declare war on these guys as well.
Pronto all'azione.
Yeah, because there is Syria. Yeah, true.
Pronto all'azione. Comandi.
It's a little annoying. No, there is also naval invasion here I missed. That's why we set these guys on area defense in here, because the UK tends to naval invade this area quite frequently.
Attento.
Oh, here we are keep pushing. Here we are in trouble.
Attento.
Oh well, whatever. Just push. We may lose a bit of Turkey there because we are not protecting it, but it's okay.
Pronto.
I will actually send down one of these armies since we have another one here anyway. Okay, I think it's time for the naval invasion, although we're being engaged right now, but we are still going to do it, and we're going to switch these guys. We're going to split them around a little bit. A couple of them we need to be on naval invasion support. Let's also make a save. It's always good making a save before invading the UK, in any case. Let's go. Okay, the naval invasion is going smoothly so far. Will these guys be intercepted? No, absolutely not. Nice. Some of them maybe got intercepted. No, I don't think so, actually. This went very smoothly. Okay, we disembarked without any issue whatsoever. Now we can just plan an offensive. And guys, this will be over before you know it. Let's send one infantry army to reinforce, just in case it's not really needed. Now at this point we want to justify on Vichy France. We got the claimed state, so there is no reason not to do that. And we're also going to start a justification on Spain. Now, if possible, you would also like to justify on Hungary. It used to be possible, but now they always join the Axis very quickly. So I don't think that's an option anymore. We're going to be fine without them. Look at that, London is already down. That's a battle we may lose, though. That's a big fleet there. Yeah, there we lost a light cruiser and a heavy cruiser, but look at what they lost, though. That's crazy. Of course, what we're doing now, it's not really needed. We already won the naval invasion, so we could retreat the fleet and preserve it a little bit. I'm going to leave it there, just to see what happens. And maybe we can set these guys actually on convoy escort. How about that? Okay, we got our claims. Now we just need to take down Spain.
Pronto all'azione. Pronto, signore.
These guys were not pushing.
Pronto all'azione.
How come I don't have efficiency if I have 91% dominance, but I don't have convoy escort efficiency for some reason? That's a bit weird. Not that it matters, but... I don't like being without supplies. Oh, things are falling apart for the UK. This is actually a UK with a decent amount of divisions too. Not a super weak UK. And we never pushed into Iraq, but that doesn't matter. They will still be part of the peace conference. Of course, this guide is aimed at the Roman Empire, but if you wanted to tag more countries during this time, one very cool one to tag would be Mexico. It's just 10 days, and if you claim them, you can take them in the peace conference as well. You can do that with other countries, and of course, that's even more overpowered. We're not going to do it because we don't need them, but we could. I think we're pretty close to the end, but guys, look at the war participation. This is the fun part and one of the biggest differences from before.
Avanzate!
Okay, I think we're there. Is the UK down? The UK is officially down. Our primary goal was to get as much score as possible, and 91% is not bad in World War II. Germany, did you do something? Come on, Germany, come on, do something. 91%, for which 25,144 is for sunk enemy ships. That's not just good, that's probably a bit overpowered. That's probably a bit too much, honestly, from only from sinking enemy ships. Speaking of which, let's look at some stats. So we did lose some ships in the end, but we can see from here better stats. So yeah, this is the total amount. 114 lost, 300 destroyed. Of course, in the lost ones, though, there are also convoys. It's primarily convoys. So when it comes to the important ones, I think we lost a very, very small amount of them. It was, I think, 18, 19, so we lost like 4 or 5 of the larger ships. And in return, we completely destroyed the Royal Navy. And of course, what is left of the Royal Navy, we are going to take in just a couple of seconds. There we go. There we go. So, important peace conference, you don't want to mess this up, but if you have this amount of the score, that shouldn't be much of an issue in overall. I'm going to be very generous and leave Poland and Lithuania to Germany, because I feel kind and I like Uncle Adolf. And the rest, the important part is, of course, that you annex everything that is a core of the Roman Empire. I will include a link in the description, so we can skip this in the edited version. Just don't forget any of the cores, that's very important. And then just puppet whatever important and resource-rich regions are in the world. Let's hope that I didn't miss anything in here. Should be fine. No, Germany, you're not going to contest anything. I'm going to take whatever I want and more. Why do you want that place so bad? Where is it? Why do you want this place so bad, Germany? Adolf, what are you not telling me? And boys, they finally add... No, I'm kidding. No way to add the reparations to everything. Just manually do it for every single one and have fun. And again, and again, and again. And we can take what is left of the Royal Navy, which is actually less than half of it. It's usually more than 4,000 points, so that's how much of it we destroyed. Also, the French Navy is destroyed. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a disadvantage. Actually, building a navy is not good, because then you don't take the Royal Navy. But it's okay. It was fun. It was very fun. And what is also fun is, boom, Germany didn't take anything. We took everything from them. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. Okay, boys, so now what's left to take care of is Vichy France, Spain. We're also going to take Portugal, and then we restore the Roman Empire, as usual. We did get intercepted, I think, while we were crossing the strait somewhere, because our tanks lost some strength, which is impossible. So it must have been because of that.
Pronto, signore.
So not much of a setup needed for Vichy France, but you do need to take them in Africa as well. So luckily we got this little bit here, so we're going to push from here. Otherwise you can simply push from this area here, so it's fine anyway. And these divisions that we have here we can use to push this part.
Comandi. Sì, signore. Formazione.
I will repair actually this fleet that is a bit damaged, and we can use what is left of the Royal Navy down here to get supremacy, which we actually do not need, but we can get maybe some convoy escort. I also forgot to set the planes on supporting the army in the UK, so we did it all without any air supremacy. Just for the added challenge, you know. It was all on purpose. So we need to be careful with Spain because we have about 1 month and then the claim expires. So that's the only thing we need to pay attention to. And here you can already see a hint of the amazing fun that call is. So the more you expand at this point, the harder it gets to keep it under control. In fact, it's just impossible to keep it under control because there is not enough coal in the entire world to sustain your economy. Even if you switch back to civilian economy, yeah, the difference is not big enough to fix the problem. So you just don't have coal. You just accept it, play without coal. And not cool as well. That's cool. That's very cool. Yes, Portugal. Yes, I'm about to destroy you. Just saying, but yes, absolutely yes.
Sì, signore.
If we have a spare army, we can actually push France from here.
Ordini.
Now, in terms of buildings, it's important we keep building in Yugoslavia because we do need to annex them to, for fuck's sake, to form the Roman Empire. Then one of the few things you can do to fix the coal problem is incredibly fun. You just need to look up in the map where coal is. You don't know, there is no tooltip to do that. So you need to find the provinces with coal and then you build infrastructures in there. That's so fun for the late game. Look at that. And then you get that 2 extra coal. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Very, very fun.
Pronto, signore. Formazione.
Yeah, I don't think we have time to train them, so let's just push.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, let's go for France.
Pronto. Pronto. Ordini.
And let's make sure, though, this is important, that we also take these guys, because they need to be in the peace conference, otherwise it's a bit annoying.
Pronto.
That's it. That was fast. The funny thing is, the more you puppet and get resource rights from other parts of the world, the more of a coal deficit you get. So you don't fix it, it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Pronto all'azione.
Okay, now let's quickly take care of Spain.
Attento. Sì, signore. Ordini.
And we can now do the first step of integrating Yugoslavia. We need another one, but for the second one, we can just start a land lease and send them convoys, enough convoys to annex them. And if convoys are not enough, you can also use trains with more or less the same effect. Maybe a bit less because I don't want to run completely out, but yeah, something like this will be fine.
Formazione. Avanzate! Avanzate! Ordini? Formazione.
We can now bring the production of infantry equip to 50 and take them from tanks. We don't need that many tanks anymore. And usually after the war I also bring infantry to 18 with something like this. And you can recruit another 24 infantry divisions. This is for a potential future of the run, of course. It's not something we need right now. And you can recruit another 12 Alpini divisions to have a full army. The other optional thing that you can do, we're not going to do it right now, is you can get 5 upgrades, a 3rd spy, and then you can spy either on the United States, which would probably be my primary target here, or on the Soviet Union if you plan to invade one of the two for the late game challenges.
Pronto.
Okay, we need to keep an eye on these. We don't want to miss the timing, but ideally we want the division in Gibraltar. We want the divisions in... Cannot speak anymore. We want the divisions in Gibraltar to be ready. Where are the guys that are supposed to be here? By the way.
Pronto all'azione.
By the way, I feel like the excavation technologies might be a bit more valuable now, since you get more coal, and that's important.
Attento.
Oh, you went the long way around. Okay, I don't think you will ever get there, so let's just forget about them. Why didn't you use boats? I mean, could have just been like these. You went all the way around, seriously. Whatever, let's just take Spain. Get these to an end. And of course, they last end. To piss me off until the last. Now, as we declare war on Spain, we also want to take Portugal. Because we can core them as a Roman Empire. No other reason.
Formazione.
Even with last stand, I just destroy them completely.
Pronto. Pronto. Pronto all'azione. Attento. Attento. Pronto all'azione.
That's a lot of Portuguese volunteers. Look at that. And in the meantime, we got the. In the meantime, we can finally annex fully Yugoslavia. That was the last requirement, together with Spain for the Roman Empire. So we're basically there.
Pronto, signore.
Why are we losing? What the fuck?
Pronto, signore. Ordini.
The Portuguese volunteers. We finally found a match for our tanks.
Avanzate.
They just cannot defeat the Portuguese volunteers. Anything else? It's fine, but not the Portuguese volunteers. Well, I think Spain is doomed. That's it. So technically you don't need all of... Technically you don't need these parts, but yeah, just annex everything. Now, the final and biggest challenge of the run, Portugal.
Comandi.
And by the way, for the last doctrine in here, you can either go for Armored Spearhead just to take breakthrough, or Streamline Deployment gives some better buffs to tanks. I'll take the 10% extra soft attack to further boost our Alp T.
Pronto.
Now, one last focus, and it's almost perfectly timed with Portugal. And then the Roman Empire, once again.
Pronto, signore. Attento.
And Germany decides to mess things up, because why not, Germany? Why not? You know what? I will not be involved in an invasion of the United States right now. These guys, definitely Portugal will be in the American faction. I don't want that. But I think even if I leave Germany, that probably will be the outcome. In any case, fuck you, Germany. Fully fuck you. I guess this way I cannot show you the faction system though, but it's okay. We'll have plenty of videos to talk about that. And I hope you lose badly, Germany.
Si, signore.
Okay, let's see if Portugal behaves or not. It would be a bit annoying if they don't. But if we're very, very, very fast, it's gonna be fine. It's fine. Okay, okay, we managed. I was a bit worried with Germany doing weird stuff, but it's fine. Now, in the case of Portugal, though, we really don't need to annex everything, so... Where is this place? Yeah, I'll just take this part and I will puppet the rest. Now, I don't want Roosevelt to be the last thing we hear here, so shut up, please. Okay, boys, we did it. Look at how beautiful this is. I love that Germany, after being completely messed up in World War II, decided to declare war on the United States. And they just cannot go there unless I join their faction again. So, yeah. Enjoy your endless war, Germany. I didn't ask for it. I will not help you with it. I have more important things to do. Like Mare Nostrum in 2 days. The usual fun part, boys. Let's hope we didn't miss anything. We didn't miss anything. Look at that. Look at that. So, usual tradition. We check the manpower. We check the factories. 700,500. Mare Nostrum, not only Mare Nostrum. We have also been saving a lot of political power. So let's take Spain, let's take France. We integrated a bunch of stuff, so let's see what happens up here. Yeah, what happens is very cool on the one hand, in the sense that manpower is unlimited and the industry is insane. On the other hand though, Here is amazing coal, look at this, and we're already importing all of the coal that we can import. Like, that's it, we're not gonna get more than this. Okay guys, so we finally got to the end of this run. That was much more light outside when I started it, but everything went quite well. I mean, we are in the Imperium Romanum, OP as always, insane manpower, insane industry, insane lack of coal that we will never be able to fix ever, because just there isn't enough coal in the entire world to fix our problem. But for our purposes, we will be very happy with what we got. The Roman Empire strategy works, it works better than ever. We implemented all of the optimizations from the past months, so this is now the perfect strategy for Rome. Roman Empire by April 1940 is by no means a record, but we didn't just get the Roman Empire, we also cored most of the Roman Empire. And we got it with an extremely smooth strategy. Getting 92% of the score in World War II is particularly fun, I must say. I really enjoyed that. I can also see how the DLC, instead of fixing the German AI, broke it even more. Instead of attacking Denmark and Norway, they attacked the United States in 1940. Well, whatever. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that, okay? We're happy with this run. We finished it successfully. Guys, there will be plenty more videos. I will cover Japan very soon in a dedicated guide, and then we will need to talk about all of the new things in the DLC. As you can imagine from this run, coal is not my favorite thing, but some other ones are pretty fun, and destroying the Royal Navy was indeed very fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and leaving a comment. It really helps. Other than that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye bye!